Hi, my name is Miss Owens, and what I'm doing right now is essentially recording my back to school night presentation that I would normally be giving to parents um, on the night that you would join me at the school building. But since we can't do that this year, I'm going to go ahead and record it um, as though you're with me so you can kind of see what's going on in your students' English classroom this year. So generally about me, very first thing I want to do is tell you guys a little bit about your child's teacher. This is my 6 year teaching. It's my second year at Speedway. Last year I was at Speedway teaching freshman and sophomore English, and I also ran the I-STEP remediation program. This year, however, I've kind of shifted a little bit. I'm doing freshman and sophomore English, so English 9 and English 10. But I'm also doing pre-AP English 10. So essentially what that means is I've added one course this year to my course load, which is that pre-AP English 10 class. I grew up and I still live in Speedway. I actually graduated from Speedway in 2011, which this coming year I guess is going to be a decade. For university, I studied IUPUI. I got my bachelor's in English education. I do plan to eventually go back and get my master's, although I'm not quite sure entirely what I would like that to be in, whether that's education or literature or writing. But that is kind of the plan for the future here. General expectations for your student in my classroom. They should always come to class with their materials ready to go, give it their best. I love working with students to help them improve. So essentially, as long as they're willing to come and try, there's very few things that we can't accomplish this year together. I understand that a lot of students don't find English to be their greatest or most enjoyable subject. But if they're willing to come and work with me, and we work hard this year, there's a lot of growth that we can achieve together. So the agenda for this year in my 3 different courses, you can kind of see it on the screen here. I'm not going to go into super depth just because if I do this could be an extremely long video here, but English 9, you can see we're hitting all kinds of different literature throughout the year. We've got different types of fiction, nonfiction. We've got a drama unit with Romeo and Juliet that we'll be doing in the spring. We do a lot of timed writings together, which forces the students to really focus on pulling specific and effective evidence from a text to support whatever argument they're making, because it's an extremely important standard, and it's one that the students are going to see a lot on standardized exams. We do a narrative piece, and we just start dipping our toes into argumentation and citing sources and doing that kind of thing. English 10, we've got a similar structure in the literature units. We're going to do a dystopian fiction unit. They have the Crucible that we do as our drama unit, nonfiction, short stories. Just like the freshmen, we really hit hard with the timed writings because, again, that's really good standardized exam prep for them. We do a lot of research and argumentation. In fact, the English 10 students have finished up a very short research paper already at this point in the year. We'll do personal narrative as well. And then the pre-AP English 10, we've started out with a short story unit. We've got some larger fiction and nonfiction texts that we're going to be hitting. We really focus on also allowing the students to pursue their own independent reading, because as much as I love reading with them in the classroom all the time, really fostering that independent drive to read and that love of reading is important for the pre-AP kids, because they're going to, as they move into AP courses next year, have a lot more independent reading that they have to do. So, for instance, right now they have their own fiction text that they've chosen. They get to pick, they read. We spend a little bit of time each period letting them read, and then they kind of respond to that reading in journals. So that'll be a similar thing to what we do throughout the year. The type of text will change depending on what kind of unit we're in. And then writing, research and argumentation. We have a synthesis piece that we have to do this year. I try to slip in some creative writing when I can, because I know some of the students really enjoy that. But we do quite a bit of writing response in class, just to get them kind of prepared for those AP expectations coming up next year. All right, how can you find out about your child's performance in my class? Google Classroom is extremely helpful. You can sign up to be an observer in your child's class. You can see everything that's posted on there. Primarily right now, the things that you would see on Google Classroom are for those students who are quarantined. I've been using it primarily as a preparation for those students who need help because they are in an extended absence due to possible illness. You can always email or phone call updates. I will send phone call updates frequently with students who seem to be struggling a bit, or perhaps they have unusual behavior. For instance, I have something in my classroom called Mental Health Days, where I allow students to take a small object from my desk and set it on their own, and that indicates to myself and the other students in the classroom that they're struggling that day, either mentally or emotionally, or something's going on. They're still required to do the work in class that day, but I'm not going to make them speak out loud, and their peers are supposed to kind of leave them be that day. So those 2 mental health days that I give them a year, they only get 2, but if I notice that they're using them, that can kind of give me an indicator that, hey, something's going on with this student. Maybe I should check in with them and check in with mom and dad and make sure that everything's okay there. As I said, quarantine and e-learning, all students during extended absences are going to receive their classroom content on Google Classroom. So if you do know that your child is in an extended absence, make sure you're having them check Google Classroom for that content. They can email me, they can contact me through Google Classroom, they can call my school number, which is right there on the screen, and I can give them whatever feedback or help that they might need that way. And then help, just general things. If you need something for your child's English class, my school email is on the screen right there. It's just like all of your other teachers' emails, and that it's my first initial last name at speedwayschools.net. That is my school phone number again, and then office hours. I'm usually in the school building around 7:10, 7:15 until 8 a.m., or generally after school until about 4:30. Right now I'm coaching volleyball at the junior high, so I'm really outside of the school building at about 3:30 in the afternoon. So an afternoon appointment, at least until the end of September, is not necessarily going to be very effective. Of course, you could always call or email, and we could set up an appointment in my classroom during the school day when I have my prep period or any other time that would work, and we could have a conversation about whatever that may be. But that's all I got for you guys. So, as I said, if you have questions, make sure you email, and I will be more than happy to help you with those. And I will talk to you later, hopefully. I'm looking forward to a good year with the students. And yeah, that's about all I got for you guys. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you end up watching this video. And stay safe out there.